Major funding for Florida Matters comes from the Mosaic Company, a leading producer of fertilizer made from phosphate, a natural resource found in Florida. America's farmers depend on Florida phosphate for their crop nutrition needs. Mosaic, helping America grow.
Hi, I'm Irene Mayer. Welcome to Florida Matters. Today, we're talking about going green in Florida and what it means to us. What does it mean to go green in Florida? Well, it might mean getting less energy from oil and more from wind, solar, and other renewable resources. For many, it means recycling, which isn't always just a bin on your curb. Recycling can also include selling, donating, and buying secondhand goods. Some people go to thrift stores and online to sites like eBay, Craigslist, and many more. Green can be making your home more energy efficient and conserving water. And to some people, green means meeting your needs locally, so food and materials don't have to be shipped from all parts of the globe. Jim Kowaleski of Newport Richey does his part to create sustainability by turning his yard into an edible garden. Jim Kowaleski is a farmer, and his fields are the yards around his house in the suburbs of Newport Richey.
I do a market garden here. I planted it in October and started harvesting in December.
He seems to embody the idea of sustainable living.
I'm actually surviving on the piece of land I occupy. There's an interaction going on, which is so different than our traditional suburban and urban mentality. I'm actually producing something again off a piece of land I'm occupying.
Where most people grow decorative plants, shrubs, and border grass, Jim cultivates a variety of delicious leafy greens alongside carrots, radishes, and the rest of his winter crop. He grows his produce to sell at area farmers markets and to share and trade with his neighbors.
Food really transcends a lot of barriers. I've really found that, people, especially when I show up on my bicycle. I also distribute it around the neighborhood.
Good.
Got some more lettuce.
Sweet.
You got grapefruit?
Yes, I do.
Cool. I trade some of my produce for citrus and then take that to market also. So it's been kind of a neighborhood thing going on too, which is really cool. I'm starting to meet my neighbors a lot more.
And when it comes to getting rid of pests, he has his own philosophy.
I've got a definite problem with pill bugs in this area. I think it's because it's newer mulch, and they eat a lot of my seedlings, especially the bok choy, the kales. And I'm really trying to, instead of pose my will and try to find out what will kill them, I need to find out what's out of balance because there's so many of them.
Every other morning, Jim goes to pick up seaweed at a park next to the beach. It gives the pill bugs something to eat other than his garden.
And it seems to be working a little, but what I think's happened instead is they like the seaweed better than my plants. Well, the green idea of sustainability is being able to, stay in an area and not consume more than you produce. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. I mean, very little leaves this property. I use something called permaculture, which is an idea of permanent culture, which is very green. I think we're going to hear more and more about it as the years go by here, because it's really an interconnection with everything how it used to be, like on a small farm.
Permaculture is a concept developed in the 70s and has taken root in Jim's approach.
I read a book called Gaia's Garden about permaculture and the interconnectedness with food and nature and our living space, and it really changed the way I looked at the world. That's what I see permaculture as really opening the door to all these connections that can strengthen especially our small communities, because that's the human scale. I mean, yeah, I really believe that. I see the suburbs as becoming the small farm of the future. It's got the infrastructure close to cities. You got water pipes, you got all the easy transportation. And you could, if you imagine this street producing what I'm producing every week, you could be, supplying most of the fresh food for this town. And I really can see it happen.
Baby switched.
It's really a fulfilling thing, and it's just building on itself. I'm just loving it.
Thank you. Thank you.
For a lot of Floridians, going green is about not wasting, damaging, or using up what we have so that it can be enjoyed now and for years to come. Carson Cooper from WUSF 89.7 is here with Kim Button from Greenwell Consulting. She's here to give us some ideas for greener and healthier living.
Well, thanks, Irene. Kim, here you are. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me here.
Well, these look like very familiar products, but I have a feeling they have something to do with green living.
They do. One of the most important aspects of green living, and that is if you can choose greener cleaners. Traditional cleaners have a lot of chemicals, which are not healthy for you inside your home, and they're not healthy for the earth. They're going to be getting into the waterways, into the air, killing wildlife. So anytime that you can go more natural, more plant-based, that's going to be the best.
All right, I see vinegar here.
Vinegar is a standout in the cleaning world. It can clean anything. It's antimicrobial and antibacterial. It kills mold. It can do it all. So you can use it on almost any surface.
Now, Irene, I would be worried about vinegar making my house smell like a jar of pickles.
Absolutely. Is there anything you can do to counteract that?
Definitely. You can use essential oils. If you combine some vinegar and some water, put in some essential oils, whether it's a lemon scent, a peppermint scent, that's going to counteract the effect of vinegar. It's also going to leave a pleasing aroma throughout your home. That's also eco-friendly or safe.
Now, I'm pretty sure what's in here is water.
You got it. If you're wanting to be eco-friendly, then you don't want to be using a lot of disposable water bottles and having to put those in the landfill. So get something that you can reuse. And when you're buying a reusable water bottle, you might be tempted to get something like this. It's a plastic number 7. Some of those can contain a chemical called BPA, which is not healthy for us or the environment. So a better option would be stainless steel. And this is something that's going to last for years. It could be around like 10 years or so. Reusable, great for the environment and for you as well.
And how about the line of personal care products? That's another place where we should be really thinking about what we put on our bodies.
Exactly. It's one of the most important things that you should be thinking about as well, because anything that you put on your skin is going to be absorbed into your bloodstream. It's going to get into your body. So if you're using any type of personal care products, whether it's soaps, lotions, shampoos, that's all going to be something that could potentially get inside your body. So choose more natural. You can choose things like vegetable glycerin for soaps. There's wonderful soaps. Coconut oil. When you're talking about like body lotions, if you do something like this, an apricot kernel oil, it's really hydrating for your skin, just pressed right from the apricot kernel. Nothing could be more earth friendly than that.
Are there specific words that we should look for on the labels of these products?
You want to choose something that makes sense to you, something that sounds like it's natural. Vegetable glycerin is great. That's going to be in a lot of products. Coconut oil, palm kernel oil. Things that you're familiar with that sound natural are going to be some of the best alternatives.
Now, we want things that work, that do the job, but also won't break the bank. Are these more expensive than the typical products?
They can be. Not all of them are, though. Things like glycerin soap is going to be cheaper than the traditional soaps. If you get a product that's more natural, that might cost a little bit more, such as a body lotion, you might need to use less of it. So in the long run, it's going to end up costing the same.
And you think that when we get into the linen closet, that's another place where we can also go green, as they say.
Right. Cotton production uses about 25% of the world's pesticide use. Pesticides is not something that we want to continue to have a lot in the world. So if you can choose organic cotton products, especially towels, washcloths, and sheets, these are things that are going to be on your skin. So any of the residue from pesticide production that might be left in those products is going to be absorbed into your skin. You don't want to be sleeping and inhaling that all night.
Are these products easy to find? Are they carried in most average, department stores, for example?
This one's from Target. This is a Target brand towel. So yeah, they are extremely easy to find nowadays.
Okay, good. And last but not least,
Very lovely.
Yes, chemical exposure. Indoor air can be 2 to 5 times more polluted than your outdoor air, according to the EPA. That's a surprising statistic. And that's because of all the chemicals that might be off-gassing from things that you're going to have in your home, carpeting, furniture, any personal care products as well. So if you choose plants that purify the air, you have a natural indoor air purifier. So these things like snake plant, Gerber daisy, pothos, English ivy, they're all really easy to take care of, first of all. Low light levels, low water levels, so you can't really kill them, and they're going to be great for the environment.
How many should you have to really reap some sort of benefit? Do you need to turn your house into a garden, so to
Prevent
speak?
off-gassing.
No, you don't need a lot of them. Ideally, at least one per room, especially in the kitchen and the bedroom, the places where where you spend the most time. If you just have one plant in each, you can have a couple if you'd like, but you don't have to have a greenhouse inside your home.
Very good. Well, thank you. Lots
You're
of good
welcome.
information.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kim. We have even more tips from Kim about keeping your home healthy and eco-friendly. Just visit us on our website at wusf.org/Florida Matters. And Carson, what more do you have for us today?
Well, the use of green cleaners is one thing, but Irene, where do you stand on manure?
Ooh, I hope not in it.
Organic farmers certainly believe in the use of manure, and organic farming is really not a new idea. It sort of gained traction back in the 1930s when the use of synthetics pesticides became more popular. And who could argue against them? In the Depression era, Dust Bowl era, they worked. But there were farmers back then who were concerned, like many people are today, about the health aspects of using pesticides. And there's another very important component of organic farming, and that is the health of soil. Organic farmers learn to rotate crops and use manure and compost and things like that. And there are several organic farms right here in the Bay Area.
I didn't know that.
That's right. We found a little bit of country in Town and Country. It's a place called Sweetwater Organic Community Farm. It bills itself as an urban organic farm providing healthy food, educational programs, and community building opportunities. So let's go there now.
Yes, I'll be following sunshine when I cruise on down this road.
Not far from the hustle and bustle of Tampa International Airport, hidden from view, is Sweetwater Organic Community Farm. Here, members pay a yearly fee and reap the harvest of vegetables grown without chemical pesticides or fertilizers.
We sell out all of our memberships every year. To me, the biggest thing is the community, the family that we've created here, and it keeps growing. We're green because we believe in living sustainably. We grow most of our own food. We grow food for a lot of people who would otherwise buy food that's shipped in from all over the world.
Plants like different soils.
On Sundays, they hold a market that's open to the public and outside vendors, where the two most popular colors appear to be tie-dye and green.
I love the energy here.
No, I won't be carrying any bad vibes, you said.
These are rain barrels, 55-gallon drums from recycled food-grade barrels that were in the citrus industry.
We grow produce organically, from sweet potatoes to cane syrup to every vegetable possible in Plant City. And we're able to bring it down here and sell it, and then I do recycled crafts from, like I said before, bed linens. A lot of recycled t-shirts. I do t-shirts into skirts or dresses.
I sell natural and non-toxic cleaning products. These are eco-friendly, readily biodegradable, natural but commercial strength cleaning products. Rain barrels are for collecting free water because everybody knows in Florida we're having a bunch of water restrictions, and also people don't like putting city water on their plants and vegetables or garden because, you know, they put fluoride and chlorine in their water.
The green aspect is that I'm using recycled fibers. They're fibers that people let sit and biodegrade in the landfills, or like polyester, which doesn't biodegrade, and I can reuse it and make it into another life cycle of clothing.
For me, it's about being sensitive to what you do to the environment.
We ordered steaks and talked to family. We told her the job.
Tampa City Council member Mary Mulhern is a believer in the concept.
I like the vegetables best, and I like the community aspect of it. I like the fact that it's been here for like 15 or 20 years, and now it's becoming a successful model for other community-supported agriculture and community gardens in Hillsborough County and this part of the state.
Well, for starters, it gets us all grounded in the earth and in natural processes of growing. You can't get healthier food than what's grown here at Sweetwater.
This just feels like, you know, my shopping is now following my own politics and ideas about sustainability.
Yes, I'll be following sunshine when I cruise on down this road.
That really is a best-kept secret in the area. Are there other organic farms, or is Sweetwater the only one?
Well, that's a great question because it is such a neat place to go. There are several here in the Bay Area. In fact, according to the Florida Certified Organic Growers and Consumers Group, there are actually 130 certified organic farms in the state, which make up around 14,000 acres. Now, we have a link on our webpage where you can get more information about finding an organic farm near you. Just go to WUSF.org/Florida Matters. And while you're there, you might want to listen to my radio broadcast of Florida Matters.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Carson.
You bet.
Now from organic gardening to eco-friendly transportation. Michael Loki has his own ideas about how to do it well. You might recognize the name. Loki grew up in the car business, and his family owns several local dealerships. So it's no wonder that his passion revolves around cylinders and big wheels. However, it's his green approach to these gas-guzzling vehicles that may surprise you. Take a look. You might not think so at first, especially looking at what he drives, but Mike Loki is actually the green sheep of his family. The third-generation car dealer uses his passion for big wheels as a vehicle for sustainable energy advocacy.
When I found out about this technology and people doing this, I was drawn to it and found out that I could have a big, fun truck that I could run on a fuel that comes from a renewable resource that scrubs carbon from the environment and is free to run.
Loki competed in the Baja 1000, driving all the way from Tampa to Baja, California, and back on used vegetable oil.
Well, we originally built this truck so that we could demonstrate that, you know, a vegetable oil could be run in a modern vehicle, and it doesn't get more complex of an engine than the Duramax. It really was born out of two desires: one to prove the theory, and also one to experience that race, and it was incredible.
Converting his personal vehicles wasn't enough, though. Loki saw a bigger picture.
When I started really thinking about how hard it is to get one person to change their vehicle and what impact that had in the environment, I realized that if there was a customer out there who had a lot more vehicles, then that would have a bigger impact on the environment.
He convinced Chris Bentley at Legacy Sea Products in Orlando, a fresh seafood company, to begin converting his fleet of delivery trucks to run on vegetable oil.
We started this business arrangement with Mike Loki after doing some research this summer when fuel prices reached $4.50 a gallon for diesel. We were listening to our customers who were complaining about the fuel surcharge that we had to impose during that time, and we thought there's got to be a better way. How can we control this?
After the initial startup costs and time to convert the Legacy fleet,
the average conversion on one of our vehicles is somewhere in the neighborhood of about $4,000 per vehicle. It takes about 2 days for them to convert it, and very painless, seamless operation for us.
It didn't take long for Bentley to see the results.
Each one of our trucks burns about 300 to 400 gallons of diesel fuel a week, which now has been converted to waste vegetable oil. So we have about a 10-week return on the investment of the truck.
In other words, in 10 weeks, the conversion had paid for itself. And the best part for Bentley was the new fuel was coming from his own customers.
Traditionally, restaurants have been paying to have waste vegetable oil removed from their facilities. And we said, well, we need that resource. And we thought, okay, we'll approach them and said, does this make sense to you? And most everybody said, yes, that's a great idea. And that's how we got to get started.
It's a win-win situation for participating restaurants because they don't have to pay for waste removal. Plus, Legacy customers no longer have to pay a fuel surcharge. And Bentley says there have been other unexpected benefits, too.
We've actually been able to employ more people and still not increase our operations costs by the savings that we've utilized in the waste vegetable oil. The other thing is we've noticed that we've had customers, our restaurants call in that were not currently customers with us and had heard about our program and decided they wanted to be a part of that. So that's been a great benefit for us.
Mike Loki says he expects more companies will get on board when they realize how ideal Florida is for vegetable oil conversion.
We're actually the second largest consumer of diesel in the U.S. And we have the climate to make collecting vegetable oil easy. So you can collect it, filter it, and burn it easier. And beyond that, we have a huge agricultural industry that's looking for new crops to expand into. So Florida is very quickly becoming the Silicon Valley, if you will, of liquid alternative fuels, especially with vegetable oil.
Michael Loki's having a lot of fun with his passion. And now, Larry Elliston is here with this week's Florida Story. Welcome. Good to see you again.
Irene, good to see you. I got a question for you.
What's that?
What do you do when you open up your electric bill?
I want to faint. I need oxygen. Usually it's pretty bad.
Well, I tell you, I open my electric bill up very slowly and take a quick peek. And, you know, if it's been a cold month for heating or a hot month for air conditioning, I really might even cringe.
Yep.
It seems that, I don't know, whatever we do to conserve electricity between fuel surcharges and rate hikes, the bill just keeps going up. However, I met someone recently who has reduced her monthly $300 electric bill to practically nothing, and she couldn't be happier. In the shadows of the early morning here on Tanglewood Drive in St. Petersburg, it looks like a Florida house. Sounds like one too. But when it comes to paying the rising monthly electric bill for climate control and all the other conveniences connected to life in modern Florida, Flo Search thinks she's found the answer.
Good day, sunshine.
Flo has gone solar.
Sunshine.
I've got 3 arrays of PV panels, that's photovoltaic panels, and that's what brings the energy to my home. I've got 1 panel PT that's progressive tubing that heats the water for my home. So that's the system that's on the roof.
Flo's rooftop 5¼ kilowatt solar electric system produces enough power to run her entire house, even the pool pump.
And this is the new DC system that is the solar pump. And this is what is running my pool now. I decided to go solar because I am very environmentally conscious and have become even more so in the last few years. I just felt that it was important for me as an individual, as an American, to do what I could do for our environment.
Not only does it make sense to reduce harmful emissions into the atmosphere and reduce our dependence on foreign oil to generate electricity, Flo Search believes her sizable investment makes dollars and cents.
And then there's also a rather large tax credit that I'll be getting this year on my taxes.
With federal and state rebates and an assortment of other incentives, Flo thinks her $40,000 expense will wind up costing her about $8,000.
I think that this was a great investment to take my money and put it into the solar system. I'll have it paid off in about 2.5 years of not having electric bills. And then from there on, I will not have electric bills, and that'll be that much money saved every year.
The thought of being less energy dependent has this Floridian beaming.
Every time I flip on a switch or turn on anything that's powered by electricity, I feel great. I know that I'm producing the energy myself here and that I don't have to pay for it on a monthly basis. So it's a great feeling, and I know I'm helping the environment too. Energy somewhat falls into 2 categories, all right? Renewable and non-renewable.
Being a good steward of the environment is something Flo Search is really serious about. As a 5th grade teacher at Perkins Elementary, she sees the Earth's future seated right in front of her.
We need to have more regard onto what we're doing with the planet and the ozone.
So how about we'll say for renewable, it can be replaced or it won't run out. At least not for a very long time. Now, Dad.
So like those panels on your house are renewable?
Right, very good.
So when science class rolls around and the subject is renewable energy, like wind and solar, Flo knows.
Now water comes in, and this is on the roof of my house, and it comes into the black tubing. So what do you think's going to happen to the water running through the black tubing as it's going through? Anna.
If the sun's out, then since it's black, the sun will probably heat it up, and then when the water's coming through it, it will get hotter, and then you have hot water.
Exactly. And it comes out the bottom as hot water and runs right into my house.
I've always kind of wanted to know somebody who had solar panels on their house, and my teacher does, which is really awesome.
Seems a lot of people nowadays think solar is awesome. With a recent suggestion from his son, the governor, Dr. Charles Christ will now heat up his chilly swimming pool with the good old Florida sun.
And for us not to utilize that sun for energy is really a mistake. So I think that's the way to go. and once you install it, it's free.
Good day, sunshine.
Free and plenty of it. After all, Florida is the Sunshine State.
Sunshine.
Dale Goulden, president of Solar Direct, says Florida's future looks bright.
Florida right now is on the brink of what potentially could be them standing as probably the leader in the solar industry in the United States.
So let's think about the renewable.
In the meantime, back at Perkins Elementary,
we could also use solar energy or wind energy.
the fifth grade class of Flow Search remains a ray of Florida sunshine.
It makes me realize that even though the children are 10 and 11 years old, that they care about our world, the environment, and that they really want to do their part to help, even though they're young. And in order to collect that solar energy that's coming from the sun, we use a few different things, mostly what's called a photovoltaic.
I think I'm really going to want to get one because I would like to have like less stuff to pay on my house because I want to have a big house.
Good day, sunshine. Good day, sunshine.
So Larry, what'll keep the solar industry moving forward in Florida?
Well, to keep homeowners like Flow Search going and commercial property owners, Florida needs to find a way to keep those solar rebates flowing. One idea is for the state of Florida to fund a public benefit fund with, you guessed it, a charge on your electric bill.
Sure. So how big is that charge going to be, do you think?
Well, 57 cents on each monthly electric bill could raise $114 million.
Wow, that's a lot of money. Thanks, Larry. We'd like to hear your ideas about going green, and we welcome your questions also. Join our continuing conversation at WUSF.org/Florida Matters. We're glad you spent some time with us this week. We'll see you next time on Florida Matters.
Major funding for Florida Matters comes from the Mosaic Company, a leading producer of fertilizer made from phosphate, a natural resource found in Florida. America's farmers depend on Florida phosphate for their crop nutrition needs. Mosaic, helping America grow.